Seinfeld, a staple of 90s television, the heartwarming show that rivaled even The Simpsons at the height of its popularity. A show synonymous with a good laugh, Jerry Seinfeld, and a drink out with the lads. Mr. Seinfeld, funny man, George Costanza, the complicated anti-hero, Kramer the brave, and Elaine Beans, the woman. The four iconic New Yorkers made the program one to go down in the history of sitcoms. Eventually, the show ended in 1998 with a famously controversial finale, one that fans to this very day reject. But what if I told you that this was not the original finale? That there was a different ending, a darker version, one you'd perhaps call nightmare fuel? Very few accounts exist regarding this originally intended conclusion to the Seinfeld show, but from the people whom saw it, we know that it started rather uncanny. The opening stand-up routine was off. Many noted that Mr. Jerry Seinfeld looked pale and visibly in distress. It is claimed that he never even uttered a joke. Jerry merely ranted about seemingly disconnected topics and kept pointing at the audience. It abruptly cuts to a somber scene. The cast are all seated at a funeral, but beloved George is missing. The camera pans to reveal it to be Costanza's very own funeral. The closed casket funeral for the lovable George. A bittersweet ending for the fan favorite. Kramer takes to the podium and addresses the crowd. From the few accounts of this episode we have, he either said a short speech or immediately broke down in tears. Kramer's anguish is gut-wrenching. What happens next is slightly contended, but what we do know is some sort of argument breaks out between Jerry, the titular Seinfeld, and Elaine. It ends with Elaine leaving. Jerry is horrified at his own words. He drove away the one woman who cared for him. A great tragedy, no doubt. It is important to note that Newman, the known foil of our protagonists, is all but completely absent from this episode. His mysterious disappearance has led many investigators to believe that he may have been the one to kill George. In fact, a long-running theory for the Seinfeld show has been that Newman was the Zodiac killer. It really makes you think. After Elaine leaves, we cut to Kramer. We see him buying a gun and facing a reflection of himself in abstract David Lynch-esque imagery. Kramer confronts Jerry Seinfeld with his newly acquired gun. It is a disturbing moment for such a wholesome show. In a scene left up to interpretation, Jerry wakes up in his bed, seemingly terrified. Something bad must have happened. Seinfeld steps out into his apartment, and in perhaps the most macabre moment of the series, the Grim Reaper enters his abode. Seinfeld is begging, praying to the looming figure of death. It is a desperate moment for his own soul. It seems like the angel of the afterlife does not approve of Jerry's pleading, as Seinfeld is struck down by the spectre. Images flash on screen, an eerie end to our famous hero. The episode's final shot sees Kramer driving away into the night. A title card appears on screen, simply saying, "The Creepy." A bone-chilling conclusion. The most popular theory regarding this avant-garde ending is that Kramer killed Jerry Seinfeld, death being symbolic of his disturbed actions. Some even claim to be able to make out what is Jerry's body in the backseat of Kramer's car. A psychotic end to the show, if true. Why did they think to make this horrifying episode? What other sickening secrets may be hidden in this finale that never came to be? And will we ever find this lost but cursed Seinfeld episode? Mr. Seinfeld's refusal to speak on the matter does not help this case. We may never know what goes on inside his twisted mind.